Just want to show you this example. Imagine you had to stick this pitchfork in the ground 5,000 times to receive 30,000 holes in your garden. That would be just ridiculous. So I have a better way to do that. So how we're going to achieve that, we're going to be planting up something called oilseed radish, or it's also called Daikon radish, or no-till radish. And it's a radish seed, but it grows quite large. It's a long white taproot that goes in the soil. Now, how do we do that? We're just going to rake our soil here, like so. We're going to loosen our soil up. And we want to do this because we want a nice soil to seed contact. We're going to get out any rocks that are there. So we now have a nice soft bed, and we're going to sprinkle our seeds on top and then rake them in like so. We have our seeds. We're just going to nicely sprinkle them over the top here. Now I use a pound of seed per 1,000 square feet, and just adjust that to what you want to do. So now we have our seeds like so, and we're going to rake them in at least 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch deep. And then when we're all done, we're going to just go back and tap down the soil so we have a nice soil to seed contact like so. And then we're going to water it. It needs water, especially when you're after planting, to rehydrate those seeds and to grow roots in the ground. Here I am on the website of johnnyseeds.com, and I bought a pound of oilseed radishes here. But if you can see here, it says sow at 1 pound per 1,000 square feet. And also to the far right here, average 31,350 seeds per pound. So that's why I'm saying that I got at least 30,000 holes in the ground, because I used a pound of that oilseed radish in my 12 by 80 foot bed. It's a little less than 1,000 square feet, but I wanted to just give you a little bit of access to how many seeds are in a pound and how many and what a pound covers in a area, at least 1,000 square feet. Now, what can you expect 30 days later? I will show you, and it's just so impressive. So here we are 30 days later. Can you imagine this happening? This is awesome. This is all that Daikon radish growing in my raised bed. Again, that's 12 feet wide and 80 feet long, almost 1,000 square feet. And it has grown massively in the last 30 days. Now, the best thing you can do to find out in your area is to ask a seed company that's selling you this product and ask them if you can plant it in your... First, you should know your USDA zone, which is United States Department of Agricultural zone. So I'm in 6B, and you should find out if you can plant this in your area. Now, if you can, then you should call up a seed company, customer service, and ask them if you can, again, verify with them if you can plant this in your area, because they're the one who's selling you the seeds. I wish I can help you, but I don't know what zone you're in. I don't know. And then the next thing you want to find out is your first frost date. Now, these will survive a frost for at least 3 times in the future, that it can get a heavy frost on it before it dies off. It is a winter kill cover crop, and also there's so many benefits benefits of this. Number one, you can eat this Daikon radish. So let me pull one out of the ground. I see a large one in front of me after 30 days, and let me show you what it looks like. Here we go. Let's pull this one, nice one out here, and see what we got going on after 30 days. Let me see if I can grab it here. I don't want to break it off. If I can grab the root here. Here we go. There we go. Now you can see we have that nice top foliage, which is actually great because that's going to decompose and put things, organic matter, back in our ground. But now we have this long taproot already. I'm going to say this is about 5 to 6 inches long, and now this is going to get about, let's say, that large here. It's going to be anywhere from 1 to 3 inches thick in the future, and we have plenty of time before our first early frost comes here. But you can see how far down this taproot went in your garden. Now, can you imagine, I have 30,000 holes in this area that has this long taproot. Let's say this doesn't grow anymore. Now, I put all those holes in the ground by just this long taproot, and also the best thing is I'm going to get this organic matter that's dying off back into my soil. I don't have to incorporate it in, I don't have to till it in. This is a natural thing that nature does on its own. Now, that is, to me, is so far superior than anything you could possibly ever do in your garden. Now, all this organic matter here. Now, let's say I have 1,000 square feet here, which I do. I have a little less than 1,000, but I'm going to use that number because it's easy to work with. So, now with that, if for every square foot, I would have 1,000 square feet, every square foot, I would have at least maybe a half a pound. If I pulled all these things out and weighed it up, and per square foot would be a half a pound. That's 500 pounds of organic matter that I'm going to be putting back in the soil. Now, most of that is water, but I'm also putting that water back in, and I'm feeding the microbes, that bacteria and fungi, and loosening up all the soil. And I'm going to keep it open because this is going to decay slowly over winter, because we don't have all those microbes working for us in the winter time like we do in our summertime, because they work in a nice comfortable zone of anywhere from 60 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit to go in the ground there. So now we're going to have this beautiful, slow releasing organic matter back in our soil, anywhere from 1 inch to 5 to 6 inches at this stage. Now, these are going to get much bigger, and the best thing is I'm going to have this for lunch today. This is going to go in my soup. This is fully edible, and so are the leaves. This is good stuff. It's full of nutrients for you, or vitamins. And again, it's a great thing. And I'll come out here, like I mentioned in my other video, it's called Survival Crop. And I will go in here and I will thin these out and I will throw them in my soup. Just delicious. And they're even better when they get larger. I want to mention this great fact also. I have not used any chemical fertilizers on my farm or any organic fertilizers on my farm. I have all the minerals I need in my sand, silt, and clay, but they're locked up in there. And how you unlock them right now is growing a cover crop, and all those microbes get in there and start eating that sand, silt, and clay. Then the protozoas and nematodes also eat that too and release those nutrients. Now, you can see this only by, even we had a drought, and you have to have water for all those microbes to live. But again, you can see the color of this. It's very bright out today, but it is a lush green, and I used no fertilizer whatsoever in the last 12 years on my farm. No matter what, like I said before, whether it's chemical or organic based. And you can see here that everything is doing very nicely, and how green this cover crop is. And again, this is about growing your soil and keeping all those microbes alive. This is a great way to explore cover cropping, something easy. And a lot of people also ask me too, can I use other radishes? Other radishes don't have that long taproot like this is, but if you have to have something and you can't afford this seed, and it's quite inexpensive, I think I spend about $16 for a pound of seed plus shipping, and you can see how beautiful it is and what it does. And if you have any questions what's going on or you don't understand anything, I'm here to help you, because do not fear your soil or dirt. It is there to help you. Nature has covered this planet with all kinds of beneficial bacteria and microbes that's going to help you grow a significantly great garden. It's just a couple of basic knowledge things that you need to understand, and it will accept and you accepting nature, how it works, and it's different from what other people have taught you. That's the biggest thing, is that all kind of cover crops and growing organically doesn't mean you have to run out to the store and buy something. The only thing you have to buy is some seed and plant it in the soil, and this is probably the easiest cover crop to grow. Actually, the other ones are too, but this is the most easiest one, and you can see how great and beneficial this is, and also that it's edible. It's just like a radish, and again, it's actually used in Asian cooking all over this world, and it's so delicious. I want to thank you so very much for visiting my gardening channel today and my 22-acre farm. It's always a pleasure to have you here. Now, this cover crop, again, is so easy to do. If you still have time to do it, again, call the customer service of a seed company and ask them your questions, what USDA zone you're in, can you still plant it up, and it's still viable, and does it winter kill in your area. If you get all those answers, then you can kind of choose around where you want to buy things and also price. Now, what we have here is just a great demonstration how nature helps itself. Plants help the soil. Plants build soil. Plants grow soil. Plants take carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere and put it back in the ground where it's supposed to be, and that gives it a healthy soil so all those microbes can survive. Now, the key thing is watering. I do have a sprinkler behind me. I had to spend about maybe $10 to $15 in water to get things established, but the benefits of having that go into my soil is far better than anything you can actually rake in or do anything else either. Cover crop seeds are the best way to go because it actually helps all those microbes. The plants feed the microbes, exudates from the plant and fills in the ground. Now, also, I want to mention here too, I could have done a mix. I could have used the oilseed radish or no-till radish or Daikon radish or whatever you want to call it, and also mix it with winter rye that I love to do. That's a living root in the ground. Now, this will die off. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to grow fungi because I use this radish. This radish, when it decays, will grow fungi, because the fungi that you want in the soil is not the fungi you see on top of the soil. That's a different type. It's a good thing to have and make it, you know, there on top of your soil in your wood chips or your leaf mold, but you want the fungi that to go down into the soil. It's not the top growing fungi, because that will only go down so far, but you want the other fungi from that decaying material here, like those roots in the ground that die off, and that will feed the other fungi, and that fungi will go down anywhere from 2 to 6 to 15 feet in the ground and open it up and uncompact your clay soil. So this is all good information. And again, nature is here to help us, and don't fear soil. It's the easiest thing. Soil is sand, silt, and clay, and it's going to love you for it because you're bringing nature back. Again, give it a good thumbs up, and I'll talk to you shortly. The weather's going to change once again. We're going back and forth, but that's okay. There's nothing like the fall. If you look behind me, I see those fall colors popping out. I love this time of the year. It's great. So happy gardening, and thank you again for visiting my farm. I'll see you shortly with another video. Thanks.